Hello everyone, I'm Matt Camp. The first 2 weeks of wrestling's best tournament are in the books, so it's time to go back inside the Continental Classic. A very busy weekend of action began on Rampage, so let's take a look at where things stand, starting in the Blue League. Kazuchika Okada and Mark Briscoe first met in tag team action back in 2015 in Philadelphia, a match yours truly was actually present for. But their first singles match didn't happen until this past Friday on Rampage. With neither man coming away with victories in their first C2 matches, there was a feeling of desperation in the air, which might explain why we saw Okada ramp up the aggression to the point that he even bloodied Briscoe early on. Of course, that only motivated Briscoe, who nearly put Okada away with a froggy bow, but wound up going for the J-Driller one too many times before succumbing to the Rainmaker. The Continental Champion got his first win and 3 points, while Briscoe remains scoreless in the Blue Division. It already feels like a much different Continental Classic for the TNT Champion Daniel Garcia. Earning a point against Okada in Week 1 certainly built some confidence, and that carried into a dangerous battle with the Beast Mortos on Rampage. Call it valuable experience from last year's C2 or a previous win over Mortos back in 2022, but Garcia is wrestling with no fear, even though he had to fight through some big shots against Mortos. In the end, Garcia was smart enough to realize he shouldn't trade shots with the Beast, and went to a resourceful jackknife to take home 3 points. We move to Collision, where the Protostar Kyle Fletcher looked to take a commanding lead in the Blue League, while the Continental Champion Kazuchika Okada had a chance to move to the top of the table. Fletcher's last loss came to Okada in a Continental Championship match back in September. We've seen a much different Fletcher since then, and if there was someone to help the Protostar get ready for the Rainmaker, it's Don Callis. Just days after stealing 3 points from Shelton Benjamin by using the ropes, Fletcher went back to his underhanded tactics, with a low blow followed by a brainbuster to defeat the Continental Champion, putting an even wider gap between Fletcher and everyone else in the Blue League. Both Daniel Garcia and Mark Briscoe had to go right back to work just one night after their second C2 matches. Garcia needed a win to stay close to Kyle Fletcher, while Briscoe was trying to avoid a repeat of last year, when it took until the final night of the C2 to get on the board. The two spoke before they met and agreed to give it their all in a sign of respect. That they did. Both men have always had never-say-die attitudes, although on this night, Briscoe's need to stay alive outweighed everything else. A devastating cutthroat driver finally got Briscoe his first 3 points of the tournament and gave the TNT champion Daniel Garcia his first loss in the C2. Let's take a look at your updated Blue League standings after Week 2 of the Continental Classic. 3 matches and 3 wins puts Kyle Fletcher atop the board with 9 points. At 4 points, we have a tie between Daniel Garcia and the Continental Champion Kazuchika Okada. Right behind them with 3 points are Mark Briscoe and Shelton Benjamin, and with 0 points, the Beast Mortos. Now, as you can see, Kyle Fletcher has a huge lead in the Blue League, which has now brought clinching scenarios into play. If the Protostar can win either of his final 2 matches, he will be guaranteed to finish in the top 2 in the Blue League and punch his ticket to the Continental Classic semifinals at World's End. Now, let's head over to the Gold League. The Rampage main event pitted Ricochet against Commander, making his C2 debut as the first alternate for the injured Juice Robinson. You're not going to find many who can at least match, if not outfly, Ricochet, but that's exactly what Commander tried to do. Perhaps sensing his original game plan wasn't working, Ricochet shifted to more of a power display and eventually put Commander away with the Spirit Gun and his first 3 points of the Continental Classic. Moving to the next night on Collision, Commander didn't have much time to lick his wounds as he got right back to C2 action against the ever-dangerous Darby Allin. From the jump, it appeared Allin learned from the night prior and tried to grind down and ground Commander. However, as we've seen many times before, Commander found a way to bounce back, taking to the skies like only he can. Although in true Darby fashion, he wouldn't be outshined and made a spectacular crash into a chair, shattering it to multiple pieces. A highlight for those in attendance at GalaxyCon. A wild exchange at the end saw Darby capture Commander in an inescapable pinning predicament for the win and his first 3 points. And now we take a look at your updated Gold League standings after Week 2 of the Continental Classic. Claudio Castagnoli remains atop with 6 points. And then we have a logjam right behind him. Will Ospreay, Brody King, Ricochet, and Darby Allin all have 3, and Commander remains at the bottom with 0 points. And now let's take a look at some upcoming matches in the Continental Classic, beginning this Wednesday on Dynamite for Winter is Coming. An idle Week 2 for Will Ospreay allowed Claudio Castagnoli to take sole possession of first in the standings. But the aerial assassin can change that if he can down Castagnoli, much like he did when they first met back in April. Also in Gold League action, we'll get a first-time ever meeting between Ricochet and Brody King, both of whom sit at 3 points. Will Ricochet build on his first win of the tournament, or will Brody bounce back from his first loss? Moving over to the Winter is Coming edition of Collision, if you want to know what the Continental Classic is all about, look no further than this unique first-time matchup and clash of styles between the Continental Champion, the Rainmaker Kazuchika Okada, and the Beast Mortos. With both men coming off tough losses over the weekend, who will earn 3 valuable points to try to keep up with Kyle Fletcher on top of the table? And 1 week from Wednesday, on the Holiday Bash Dynamite, it will be a matchup for the ages. There will be no shortage of risks, no shortage of danger, and no shortage of action when the aerial assassin Will Ospreay takes on the death-defying Darby Allin for the very first time with so much on the line in the Gold League. You won't want to miss a second of the AEW action for the rest of the month, including Winter is Coming, Holiday Bash, Christmas in New York, and World's End in Orlando. Make sure you head over to AEWTix.com and come see where the best wrestle. Speaking of tickets, what a great event we had on Monday at Globe Life Field in Arlington, Texas. It was the countdown to All In on sale. We heard from AEW CEO Tony Khan, Conrad Thompson announcing the return of StarCast, Big Boom AJ, and Big Justice, Texas's own Thunder Rosa, a very tense meeting between Swerve Strickland and Bobby Lashley, a surprise appearance from the American Dragon Bryan Danielson, and Darby Allin being reunited with the Icon Sting. Tickets for All in Texas are on sale right now, and you can head over to AEWTix.com to be part of AEW's first stadium show in the United States next July at Globe Life Field. And this Wednesday on the Winter is Coming edition of Dynamite, in addition to 2 more Continental Classic matches, we will see the AEW Women's Championship on the line when the Glamour Mariah May defends against Mina Shirakawa. The AEW World Champion Jon Moxley teams with 1/3 of the AEW Trios Champions Pac as the Death Riders face the unusual combination of Orange Cassidy and Switchblade Jay White. And it will be Kyle O'Reilly taking on his longtime friend Adam Cole, with the winner moving on to face MJF at World's End. It's Winter is Coming Dynamite tomorrow night at 8/7 Central on TBS, and you can join us in Kansas City, Missouri at the T-Mobile Center by visiting AEWTix.com. I'm Matt Camp, and this has been Inside the Continental Classic. Enjoy where the best wrestle in wrestling's best tournament.